Hey, it's Corey and Mitch.
Want to waste some time at work? Check out our podcast, TMI with Corey and Mitch.
That means too much information. In this week's episode, hipsters aren't as hip as they think they are.
And cheating on your spouse is a ridiculous waste of money, and it's cheating.
Find TMI with Corey and Mitch on KINK.FM,
iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why did you give me a thumbs up?
That's
my cue to talk?
I normally do. I give you a thumbs up, or do I point?
You give me a gun.
Hey!
Give me the phone.
I thought I'd switch it up and give you a thumbs up.
All right, thanks.
Talk whenever you'd like.
I'm low, but that's okay.
There's a volume.
I'm playing with the volume right now. How are you?
I'm great. My headphones are working perfectly.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
Great day for you.
Yeah.
How's life? How are you back? We're back at...
Yeah, we are not in Hawaii. We are no longer in Hawaii. No, what was I, too loud this time?
Yeah, you're loud, and then I'm so soft. I'm gentle like a flower.
Right. No, back in Hawaii, and it is back from Hawaii, and it is currently snowing.
Like a lot, but I keep looking out the window. It's not sticking.
It's not sticking, but there's some pretty big flakes.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You ain't lying. And I really hope it stops. But it was coming off that plane into the Portland air was freezing.
It's colder than normal. I think whatever, I'm going to use a meteorological term here, whatever the cold trough is that has hit Portland, and I'm motioning downwards, coming from Alaska.
Is that a new phrase?
The trough?
Cold trough?
Trough. I've heard trough often. There's this trough of cold air. I think it's also been splitting off and heading out into the Pacific and hitting Hawaii. When we had the snow a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
Maui got Hawaii, or Maui got snow. Maui got snow, and then we were cold and they're cold because it was like low 70s for most of the week we were in Hawaii.
It was chilly, but it was like the first day and the last day were prime weather. But that's all right. Hey, man, it was still sunny and warmer than it was here.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm going to just go ahead and jump right off with, what my new obsession is, what I was watching last night.
Oh, Finding Neverland or
Leaving Neverland.
Leaving Neverland Behind.
It's called Leaving Neverland, period. Do you know what it's about?
It's about Michael Jackson. It's the whole big documentary into putting certainty on whether Michael Jackson was actually a perv or not.
Okay, it's two of the...
Is that not what it is?
No, it's two of the men now that are coming out and saying we lied in court for him.
Right, okay. Yeah,
about the abuse.
Yeah, okay.
And here's our stories.
Right.
And one of them is a professional dancer, which I was just telling my friend Angie. That's become my new... I'm going to get merch made that says I was telling my friend Angie.
Yeah.
That... I knew who
Do you want to just do this podcast with her?
With Angie? Maybe I should. I knew who he was because when I was a kid and danced and went to conventions and workshops and things, he's younger than me quite a bit, but he would always be student teaching. It would say featuring Wade Robson. So I knew who he was at these conventions. And so anyway, it's very disturbing, but it really, this is not the right phrase, but it puts a bow on the whole thing really. And you go, okay, what are you frowning? It really all happened. And
right. There's never been a doubt in my mind.
It's like the R. Kelly stuff where he was acquitted so many times.
Nah, the R. Kelly, I never had a doubt about R. Kelly. It's one of those...
I guess I have eaten the media always and just been like,
you've drinking the Jesus juice apparently from Michael Jackson.
Totally. Yeah.
That's what he called that, right?
Yeah, and so now what's happening is a lot of stations are dropping his songs.
Right.
Like R. Kelly. So another podcast I listen to, they call it the cancel culture, that this has become the cancel culture.
Sure.
That it comes out years later that somebody was a monster, which I'm not disagreeing with.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're pulling their music or their television shows.
Yeah. I understand to some degree that reaction.
Yeah.
But I've never, you have to be so careful on that thing because people take that outside of the celebrity world and put it with the guy who runs the restaurant down the street. Be like, oh, what are your politics? I need to know your politics before I eat here.
Well, yeah. So I guess to your point, I'm wondering where the barometer is, where the line stops, because again, no question. And Macaulay Culkin, who still has not come out.
Right.
I'm pretty convinced he was abused as well, because every single one of these kids' stories are the same.
Same story.
It's the same story.
Yeah.
And I think Macaulay was part of that too. Anyway, but where does the line stop? Because I think, and people will go, well, don't be a terrible human being. Completely understand. But what people are doing today, what is going to be viewed in 25 years, and we're going to go, oh my God, think who's a new artist?
Sure.
Post Malone, we find out Post Malone was doing blah, 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 blah.
He was a bully in 7th grade.
Right.
And
in 2030, that's not acceptable. And so
Right.
we pull his music.
No, I think
Not that like child abuse was ever acceptable.
Right. That's where
but
this
there
is.
there was a blanket over it for years.
Yeah. No, I think Kevin Hart has gone through this a few years
with the
back.
homophobic comments.
He made some homophobic comments and tweets.
Yeah.
And I think he's. I agree with you.
It's the same with James Gunn.
No, it's the same with a lot of people. You can't. I don't know. I know where you're going with this, and I don't know where the line is.
I don't know where the line is either.
I think though with Michael Jackson though, like
it was complete. Yes, and people are.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say, because I was brought up to somebody, and they said, "Well, why did they come out 20 years later?" Well, for a couple of reasons, and one of the big ones that they talk about is that they always had something that didn't feel quite right inside of them. Mm-hmm. And when they had kids, it hit them in the face.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I can totally see that happening. So I don't know. Like, I believe every word, and I completely think that he was a horrible human being, like Bill Cosby, like R. Kelly, all of them. But I just don't know. And the other thing is that to a certain level, not child abuse that we know of, but like we've worked with horrible human beings before.
Oh, sure.
And people always sweep it under the rug for ratings or revenue or what have you. I've seen it on both sides. I've seen it on the talent side, and I've seen it on the sales side, where someone is a terrible person, but because they're bringing in money, or someone is a terrible person on the air, but because they're bringing in ratings,
right,
they stay. So we live in such this gray area, and Michael Jackson was a $1 billion prophet for so many people. Same with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I feel like I live in a confusing world.
I think, well, for me, R. Kelly's easy because I'm not, I've never been a big fan. Michael Jackson is harder because the guy is a musical genius, but he's done these horrific things.
Right.
And so I think that makes it harder, but for me, that makes it easy. I don't know. It's hard.
It's hard.
Because you have people like Johnny Cash, who was like horribly, like he was horrible to his first wife.
Yeah, he was abusive, right?
And he's abusive to his first wife. And then you can take this in all sorts of directions. Like you hear the stories about John McCain, who war hero, did a lot of great things for the country.
Horrible person.
But was like, from the sounds of it, sounds like he was pretty horrible to his first wife.
And actually, what's her name? Her name's not Candy.
His current wife?
Current wife. What's her name?
I don't know.
I get her confused with Candy Spelling.
Mrs. McCain?
No, I can't remember. But he was horrible to her.
I think Mrs. McCain is correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it is the problem. Years ago, you remember, and this was shortly after 9/11, the country was in this big state of shock. There's a lot of patriotism that was kind of being fostered out of that. And then the Dixie Chicks said something in London where they were embarrassed by President Bush. And so then all the country stations banned their music.
Yes.
There was like people burning the CDs and people weren't playing it.
And Toby Keith wore a shirt that said STFU.
Yeah. So you saw it there. And then, I remember having a conversation with the guy who was programming the station I was at. He said, well, if we took that stance, then we'd have to stop playing all the music.
Right.
That we play. So it's one of these things where you kind of have to decide, or am I going to separate these people's private lives from the beautiful art that they give us? Because a lot of times art comes from very dark places and from very, very flawed people. Right.
And I have said for years now, because there's been a few people that we've worked with or people that they've wanted to bring in, and I have said, this person has been deceptive in their personal life, So I have to believe they will be deceptive in their professional life.
Right.
And I've had people argue with me, like with Donald Trump. He's cheated on his wife with a porn star. He's cheated on his wife 1,000 times. You don't think those ethics bleed into his profession?
Right.
Or do you care?
Well,
so I think whatever your personality is or whatever your morals are, they bleed into every part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, again, I'm confused. I don't know.
So does this mean no more Michael Jackson nights at the house? No more dance-offs to some Beat It?
I'm not even laughing because it's not even a funny joke. That's not that. There's.
Oh man, he's killed all the humor.
Yeah.
All right. No moonwalking. Should I stop?
Yeah.
All right. So you came out with a pretty heavy
Intense
topic.
one, yeah.
Pretty heavy topic.
Are you gonna flip it?
I'm going to give an equally heavy topic.
Oh.
So a couple of days ago in the news, this guy was rescued in the Cascade Mountains of Oregon. I think he was here in Oregon.
Yeah.
Had got trapped in his car during the snowstorm that came through.
Oh, geez.
And he was able to sustain himself by eating hot sauce from Taco Bell.
Really?
Yeah.
How long was he in there?
5 days. And he was able to survive. I mean, I'm sure he would have survived, but he said, that spicy stuff really, really came true. And so in return, and this is probably a good marketing move from Taco Bell, they're like, hey, this is great. We're glad you were able to live. Here is a year's supply of Taco Bell and have all the hot sauce you want. So he gets a year's supply of Taco Bell.
And go ahead.
No.
He should be like their new face and like the head on their signage that says like it's survival or something like that.
Maybe.
Taco Bell is survival.
My question would be for you though, if you could be given food for an entire year, what would you if you got to choose?
Like a restaurant?
Yeah, this one I don't know if you're the right one to ask, because if people don't have sweet potatoes and a can of tuna and maybe a can of diced tomatoes that you can mix together.
No, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
I do that in a pinch.
You do that all the time. You do variations of that. What can I put on this potato?
Broccoli and chicken.
Broccoli and
that's edible.
Yeah, but you do it.
The other morning when we came back and I hadn't made my breakfast prep.
What did you have?
I mixed a chicken breast.
A
boiled chicken breast with 2 hard-boiled eggs and a can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes. It was disgusting.
You didn't even heat it up?
Nope. It was so gross.
Did you put any salt and pepper on it?
Yeah, I think I did.
I would hope so.
I put some pepper and I think I put like my mushroom, whatever seasoning.
Yeah. So if you were to get from a restaurant,
Taco Bell sounds pretty darn good.
I mean, you are when we travel, sometimes we do it less and less, which I'm glad we do. We don't eat as much fast food when we travel.
Yeah.
But Taco Bell seems to be the place you gravitate to.
I love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I love the Nacho Supreme or
the Nachos Bell Grande. I hate Taco Bell. It makes me nervous.
You do. Nervous? Why?
I hate ordering because you don't order Taco Bell. You're like, hey, just give me the number 5 with a large whatever. You are like, I would like one of these, and I'd like one of these, and I'd like one of these, and 3.
I'm a la carte.
Yeah, and then Quinn and Sloan do the exact same thing. So I'm the guy in the driver's seat
trying to do the math.
I have to sit there and remember what you've ordered.
Yeah.
Why can't you just order a combo number 3?
I don't want a number 3.
Combo number 3 comes with 2 chalupas, Randy.
I don't want that. I want a 7-layer burrito.
A 7-layer burrito, a super
Nachos Bell Grande.
Right.
Typically, that's all I get.
And then sometimes
the girls love the cheese roll-ups.
They get the cheese roll-ups. They also like the little freezes that you can get down.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Well, don't go to Taco Bell with us.
Order a number. Just next time, just order a number 3.
Oh, you know what else I love? Alberto's.
Yeah, I don't think they have Alberto's.
No, they have. There's one here. It's on Highway 99.
So you're talking about a family-run Mexican fast food that's a little more authentic than a Taco Bell.
Yeah. They have a ton of them in Salt Lake.
Sure.
Beto's, Alberto's. Yeah, they're the same thing. But here, there's 2 that I know of. There's one on Highway 99, and there's one over off of. It's by the Moda Center.
And we don't. Would you do that? Would you if you could have? And what constitutes food for a year? You get to go in daily. You get to go in weekly. I mean, if
you're the one asking.
You go in every single. I don't think you could. I don't think you
But
could
I would go, I'd teeter back and forth between like nachos, like fully loaded nachos and like burritos. I'm not like a big hard taco person, but
you like the hard taco? What about the hard tacos from Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box?
The Jack in the Box ones are pretty good after a late night of drinking.
Sure. Okay.
Roll in there at 1 a.m. and get 3. It's a 3 for $1 or something.
2 for $1.
Okay.
I've heard. I don't go there that often.
They're delicious. So let me ask you, if you got food for a year, where would you go?
It does have to be, if it's fast food, let's just say
You're making the rules, dude. I don't know.
Fast food, I would probably have to go, this is a tough one. I would probably have to go with like a Wendy's.
Ugh.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and what would you order?
I just order off the menu. Probably a number 5, sometimes a number 4.
But
occasionally the number 1.
Would you ever do the chili?
No, never the chili.
Never
the chili.
Oh
Hashtag never the chili.
My grandma people used to eat that chili all the time. The Wendy's chili. She loved it.
My understanding is that they made the chili, and this is probably wrong, but they made the chili. The meat from the chili came from the meat that didn't get used.
It could be.
I'm sure that's wrong.
Well, when you go to the grocery store and you see...
all the stuff in the deli counters?
That are seasoned?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Is their old meat.
It's like, you take this home and reheat it because nobody bought it 3 days ago.
Well, it's the stuff that's been seasoned, so you can't
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's a high-end restaurant, I don't even know which one I would do.
If it's a high-end, I mean, then again, could you realistically go in there daily?
Every day? You'd be like... so sick.
There was that guy, though, that ate a Big Mac every day for like 30 years.
That's bizarre.
Every single day he ate a Big Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love me a Big Mac every now and then, but...
Did he die of a heart attack?
No, he was skinny.
Weird.
It's the bizarre thing. There was a guy not too long ago who went a month, and the only thing he ate for food were Twinkies.
Ew.
And he lost weight. Granted, he probably was super malnourished, but all he ate was Twinkies.
Gross.
I think he was some sort of professor trying to prove some point.
Didn't one of your brothers one time fill a Twinkie with shaving cream and then hand it to you?
Yeah. Yeah, my brother Chris. He was the jokester. I was the dummy who walked into the bathroom with my brother with a Twinkie in his hand and a straw, and I kind of just didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, you didn't think.
And he's like, "Hey, you want a Twinkie?" Sure. He had sucked the cream out and replaced it with shaving cream.
Oh my God.
And
did you eat it?
And I took the bite, and then I got the nice taste of Barbasol. Yeah, but
and he was rolling on the floor laughing.
So the rule from this was, if somebody is in a bathroom with a Twinkie and they offer it to you, you should probably pass.
How old were you?
I don't know. Hey, he was always doing stuff like that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I have another topic.
Okay.
Sorry, I've seen some emails coming through, and I need to not do that. So Virgin Atlantic Airways, airline, has relaxed their dress code for women flight attendants.
Okay.
So let's go back to the 1950s. They're no longer required to wear skirts or makeup.
So
I'm like, about time.
Right, no, because there's a lot of places that have already laxed them.
Have they? I don't know if other airlines are still forcing.
No, Delta. We just recently flew Delta. There were women flight attendants on there. One of which might have had a skirt. The rest had slacks. Oh
no, I know. Yeah. And so does SkyWest. My mom wears slacks and stuff. But but the makeup thing too. Yeah. Are they requiring? But when we were in the airport at Hawaii and you saw the Korean Airlines and the other ones, those flight attendants.
Oh yeah.
Are perfectly. They're like fembots.
It's part of the whole. It's super retro-y, going back to the early days of flight. This whole uniform. I mean, do we feel better that our pilot is wearing a pilot's uniform with stripes and all that stuff on it?
Right, you're right.
Maybe it does. I don't know. When we flew back from Seattle the other night, there were a couple of pilots hopping on board just to get down to Portland. And the fact that there were now 4 pilots on board
made you feel better?
All in their uniforms. Oh, I felt great. I was just like, we could actually lose both of our pilots and still be okay.
Do you think you would feel safe and secure and taken care of if your pilot walked in jeans and a t-shirt? I think I would. I don't know.
It depends on, is he walking in just hey? Those commercials that are like okay is not okay, like the doctor that's just it's gonna we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
If it's that attitude, it's well, let's see if we can get this bird up. I would not be okay with that.
Yeah.
But so maybe I do have an appreciation for the uniform.
Like if a guy walked in with what you're wearing right now, an Oregon baseball cap, a hoodie, gray pants, and some runners.
Yeah.
Depends on the personality?
It depends on the personality.
When do you ever talk to the pilot?
When I'm leaving, I make sure I give them a big thank you.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I make sure I give the flight attendants a big thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I should walk this back a little bit. I think I do appreciate the uniform. It lets me know that's the guy in charge. Like I said, when those other pilots came on, I saw them. I'm like, all right, we got some backup. The flight attendants being in some sort of uniform, I'd much prefer them looking nice as opposed to just like some T-shirt. Like I know there's some like some of the discounted airlines like go super lax, not crazy lax, but like I think Southwest.
They have polos.
There were polos.
Yeah.
But,
it's fine.
I could, yeah, but, when you see
like
them.
to see them in a blazer and.
I think to myself, well, good for them. Because I would never want to wear a blazer on a plane.
No
I would never want to work in a blazer.
Kidding. On a plane.
I would just never want to work in a blazer, period.
Oh. Hey, well, that's good to know, I guess.
Right. That's why I work in radio.
Yeah. I don't know. But the whole makeup thing, that's one thing I think I've told you in the past makes me angry with you and all men is that in the morning, it takes you a flip and a bip and you're off and ready to go.
That's literally what I say as I get ready.
And so you...
Flip and a bip, and I'm ready.
And so you always like...
I take a shower. I put on my clothes. I, deodorant, brush teeth, put some product in my hair.
Uh-huh.
Maybe comb out my beard a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I'm done. Takes me 10 minutes, maybe 15. Maybe 15. Probably closer to 10. Because I don't take long showers.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Why? That it only takes me 10? No, that's great.
But and people are like, well, don't do it, Randy. Shave your head and don't wear makeup and just You think that I could get on in life if I shave my head, don't wear any makeup, don't shave my body, and go. So I take a shower.
Yep.
Shave my armpits and legs every 2 days.
Right.
Kelsey shaves her legs every single day.
Good for her.
She washes her hair every single day too. I know a couple people that do that. That's crazy. Then I get out.
So you're already saving time. What are you complaining about? You don't always do the really important stuff.
Fully lotion, deodorant, perfume.
Why do you got a lotion?
Why do I? I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe I need to stop.
We've been watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes.
So, and there's this big thing they show of the expectations of women back in the late 50s, early 60s, or maybe it was
late 50s.
Late 50s.
It's like 56.
And this idea that she would have to do all this beauty regimen stuff without her husband knowing about it, so that when he woke up in the morning, she just looked as beautiful as ever.
Yeah, she'd wait till he goes to bed, and then she'd take her makeup off and put Noxzema on.
Yeah.
And then she'd go to sleep, and she'd wake up before he got up.
Yeah.
And do full face and hair.
Yeah. And so
then get back in bed and pretend she was asleep.
Right.
It's crazy.
I don't know how realistic that actually is. I mean, I'm sure there are some that maybe had experienced something like that.
Maybe.
But like, does that come from men's expectation of women?
Yes.
Okay.
And then women perpetuated it through their own culture.
So men are to blame first.
Yes.
Women second.
Yes. I think so.
Okay.
What do you think?
I maybe just in terms of just general society, but like never once have I said to you, shave your armpits. Ugh, you're stubbly. Ugh, put on some makeup.
Objection.
Wash your hair.
You touched my shin the other day and said, when's the last time you shaved? And I said, yesterday. You didn't say it like that, but you said something about me. You questioned when I had shaved my leg last, and I was like, yesterday. And then the other day, you touched my leg, and I said, do you feel that? I shaved this morning. And because I seriously, like, my leg hair grows like nobody's business. And you went, oh my God, or I could tell, or something like that.
I think I went, ugh.
Yeah, you did.
That's not at all how it went down. I'm not here to, okay. I will.
Are you saying that none of that conversation about how quick my leg hair grows, and you touched my leg.
No, that's true. You grow hair like nobody else.
No, it was a conversation. You were like, "Oh my gosh." Do you think I'm lying?
No, I just don't remember. I don't ever remember.
But it affected me.
I don't remember. I think you drew attention to it before I did.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right. Well, anyway, I don't know. I just wish. I wish that it took me the same amount of time to get ready as it took you.
You get angry at me on
Not
the regular.
Anymore, because you get the girls' breakfast ready, you walk the dog, you do a lot of things.
I do all this stuff so that you can basically
get ready and braid Sloane's hair.
And then braid Sloane's hair, which she requires you to do every single morning.
I know.
And I keep telling you, you got to stop. She's 11 years old.
I know, but here's the thing.
She's got to learn. And I was telling her this the other day. I said, hey, look, there's going to be days where mom is not going to be there to do your hair. What are you going to do? Because I used to do her hair a little bit.
Yeah.
She tolerated it. But I'm like, you're 11 years old. You're going into middle school next year. We got to figure this out.
So I know. And there's days where I get frustrated that I have to do it because it's every single morning,
right.
every single
and
morning.
And sometimes twice.
Right.
Because she wants it redone at night.
And it's 2 French braids. It's not just like one bing, 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 bing. It's 2. And it has to be, her hair has to be sopping wet. Mm-hmm. And I have to, we have 4 different brushes we use. We have the spray bottle we use. And then I have to use 2 different sizes of hair elastics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process every morning. There are days that I get frustrated, but honestly, overall, at the end of it all, I think there's going to be a day that I cry.
That you're not doing that.
That I'm not doing it.
Sure. Okay.
And so I just want to take it.
Why don't you grab our 13-year-old and be like, you have to do half of this so that you can learn how to do this?
That's not a bad idea, actually.
That way, when you're not there, that she can still have those braids.
So, I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but because I'm getting a new job, and which is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all right that I'm bringing that up?
Sure.
And we sat the girls down and we said, look, mom's probably going to be traveling a little bit more than she has been. And literally after that conversation, Sloane came up to me in my room and she's like, I can't believe you're going to be traveling. And I said, I know, but it's going to be okay. I'll still, and she's like, who's going to do my hair?
Right.
That was her only concern.
Who is going to do her hair?
I don't know.
Yeah. She's got to figure it out.
But I will miss it. I know it's a pain in the butt, but I'll miss it. But anyway, okay. Well, that one day I won't wear makeup. I don't know.
You where did we went somewhere the other day and you weren't wearing makeup? And,
I don't wear makeup on vacation.
Guess everything was great.
Yeah, I typically don't on vacation unless we're doing something. But
right.
on days I work from home, I don't wear makeup. I like to let my face breathe. I don't know why. It's such a weird thing to say.
Probably not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the news out of New Jersey about a high school, or maybe it might be an entire district, banning limousines for prom?
Oh no, but I love it. Really?
Yeah. So the idea is they are banning it because not everybody can afford a limousine.
Love it.
So nobody should have a limousine. You love that idea?
Well, I don't love it that's fine. I don't care. But I know someone in our industry who I've known for a few years, and her daughter, they took a limo for a girl's birthday.
Right.
And there's no seatbelts, right? And they were on the freeway and they got in an accident.
Right.
And her daughter had head trauma and she was 16.
Yeah.
So that has...
You're just the downer today.
I'm always the downer.
Always bringing things down.
So that has scared the living crap out of me.
Okay, so for that reason, you're down with it.
I'm anti-limo.
But what about the whole thing of just because everybody can't have limos, nobody gets limos?
Well, back in our day, so the whole homecoming and prom thing, don't you think has really gotten out of hand?
Oh, it's nuts. We've heard from friends whose older kids are now doing it, and they're spending. What's the number?
Bennett was thousands.
No, what, Bennett, not Angie?
No, it was Bennett said, put aside thousands of dollars for the senior year because of the dances and everything else.
It's crazy talk.
It's so crazy.
We're not doing this. Are we doing this?
Well, so here's what I was going to say. When I went to homecoming and prom, it was you heard through the grapevine someone was going to ask you. Right. They'd ask you. Mm-hmm. You would figure out who was going with you. You'd go to dinner. They'd meet you at your house. You'd get pictures. You'd go to dinner. You'd go to the dance. End of story.
Right.
You might go back to somebody's house and watch SpongeBob.
Sure.
That was what we did. Nowadays, and I am going to blame the Mormons for starting this.
No,
I think it came from them.
You can't say...
Because it's like this crafty, cutie way to do things.
No, you can't. Just because you saw that when we were living in Utah.
I did. The whole way of creatively asking someone is completely...
that was super prevalent when I was in high school in Utah. Absolutely.
We never did that. That was not a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, you want to go? Sure, I'll go.
Exactly.
Ours was like, here is
Tell me ones that you have done. Did you do some? I know Ben did one.
Yeah, well, the best ones were the ones where you were creatively saying no.
Really?
So it's just like you buy them a Subway sandwich and you're like, I wish there was Subway I could go, but I can't. Or
well, that's what he did. He did a no.
Yeah. Or like you do the candy bar messages.
Yes. Or Snickers for you. Yeah. I don't know what the heck.
Yeah. If I had $100,000 to spend, which apparently is how much you have to spend on these.
Yeah.
I can't think of any really good ones, but it was you had to ask that way.
I think it came from Utah. Like I seriously, I know. But that was not a thing. So nowadays you have to do that.
You have to creatively ask.
And the other thing is, I did my own hair and makeup. Like there's like for the girls, the day of, there's like a spa day where you go
That's
get
crazy.
Hair, nails, makeup, all of it done. And like I literally bought my corsages with my mom like 2 days before at the Findery florist in Yakima. Like it wasn't a thing.
Right.
And I mean, it's just this whole, and so then there's a lot of people that hire professional photographers to come over that day and do all the photos. And these girls are getting these crazy dresses, which I've seen. That's the other thing that you and I are going to like have to really be on that. Like there's some inappropriate dresses out there that I'm just like, are you joking?
Kind of sound like a prude.
I'm a prude when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then they go to these they do the limos and they go to these fancy dinners. And then I've heard that kids are like getting hotel rooms and the parents are like, well, nothing happens. I'm like, are you kidding? Michael Jackson? I'm like, things are happening. So no, I'm totally not into it. Maybe we should be like that one of those families that's like, you can't go to any dances. I've
already Quinn starts high school next year.
I know.
She'll be 14 in high school because they lump it all together.
I know.
And she's talking about going to homecoming. I'm like, you're not going to homecoming as a freshman.
Yeah.
Or as a sophomore.
It seems very early.
Maybe as a junior.
Well, that's the other thing is that at my high school, you were only allowed to go to prom if you were a junior or senior.
Right.
Did you have that too?
Nah, I think you could go, but but most people didn't go until they were 16. That was just kind of the...
Yeah, it's just so crazy. I don't know. It's completely out of hand, but I like that rule. I think that, and by the way, it's probably like a pain in the butt to pick up everyone and drop them off in the high school parking lot with a ton of limos.
Sure.
Too.
I guess I like the idea of no limos because at the end of the day, I knew it would be it's the parents that are fronting the bill for it.
All of it.
I don't like this idea though of if everybody can't have a limo, nobody should be, because that's not life. I mean, you're prepping kids for a harsh reality of where nothing is given to you. Just because he has it doesn't mean you get to have it,
right? Or
should have it, or even need it.
But I see where you're coming from.
That's the one thing I don't like.
You don't like the reason behind it.
I don't like the reason behind it.
Yeah.
It's like participation trophies. It's just like there's winners and losers in sports. There's winners and losers in life.
We've been going through that with Sloan, where she has been constantly using "that's not fair" as her tagline. And
life's not fair.
And we said, you got to stop.
Right.
This isn't even about fair and not fair. This is about how things go on and things happen.
But Mom, the goods and services.
I know, that was so funny.
Yeah. So what we should talk about that now. Because she was talking about life not being fair.
Yeah. We had landed at midnight coming home from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so we're driving in the car and it's like between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like rambling.
She's rambling because A, it's late, and B, we had given her some medicine because both the girls got sick in Hawaii.
Yeah, we gave them NyQuil.
And so she's rambling on about how some of her friends get perks from their parents' jobs.
Yeah.
But she does not feel like
she gets any.
Despite the fact that we had just gone to Hawaii because of my job.
I said, let me remind you, we are driving home from a vacation you got because of Dad's job.
Yeah, and I thought we gave it a pretty good argument, but then she pulled out But it's about goods and services. It's like the goods and services are different. Like she did that BizTown thing where they teach about business and about goods and services. And I think she was trying to take this,
You think that's what it was from?
this
Yeah.
idea of how a working economy works about goods and services and what they actually mean. I think she was trying to apply that goods and services knowledge towards that, basically saying you need better jobs, mom and dad, because I'm not getting enough perks.
She goes, I know, like, concert tickets, but some of my friends' parents work for Nike, and so they get free Nike stuff. And you said, which was perfect, you said, Sloan, how much did you pay for those Nike shoes you're wearing? Well, I didn't pay anything. And you said, you got them for free.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Goods and services.
Yes. It was so funny. Oh, I couldn't help but laugh the whole time because she was just...
I'm sure in her head it was making sense.
Well, and then she did say at the end, look, I don't have to worry about my next meal or having a roof over my head. So these are the things I worry about.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I guess at least you have perspective.
Yeah.
Whether it's, grounded or not, it's not grounded.
Right.
So it was funny.
This is the part of the show where Randy tells me what I did wrong this week.
The other day, Malia said to me, I can totally tell that Cort picked all the music for this. It's such Cort music.
This is Cort music?
I guess so.
I don't know. I was actually, when we were in Hawaii, because I don't know if you remember, last week we did the show from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to find the music because we couldn't play the music as we did the podcast there like we do now.
Right. You didn't have like your whole setup.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to go back and kind of find it. And I couldn't remember the search parameters in the system that I used.
Oh, funny.
When I found the original music, because we have a catalog of music we can use. And somehow it's in like the Curb Your Enthusiasm tab. It's very kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David-ish.
Yes, it very much does so. All right. Well, I was racking my brain for things that irritated me lately about you, and nothing that I could really bring up that you wouldn't get super mad about. But I did think I'm gonna do a TBT, a throwback
something from years gone by.
Yes, that I got. I was laughing about this the other day.
Yeah.
I know we've brought up several times that when we first moved here, it was very stressful, and it was a dark period for me. It really was.
Right. A lot of transition.
Yeah.
It was rainy. The first winter in Portland was the rainiest winter in like
terrible.
Years. So
do you remember that, because I was driving the Honda that you're driving now, because you refused to drive your new car.
I don't want to put the miles on it.
Right. So I was driving the Honda, and the sun visor on the driver's side came like loose.
Yeah,
it wasn't completely off. It just came loose. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a design flaw with that era of Honda Civics where the plastic inside the thing, because they have to have some stiffness to it.
Yeah.
It snapped it, and it will actually break the visor.
Yeah.
It binds on itself and breaks, and so then suddenly the visor, it just flops down. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't hold.
It just hangs down.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I had asked you several times if you could fix it, and you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to fix it. And again, I was in the zone where I was like always stressed, always mad, everything was high sensitivity, right?
Sure.
And so it came like on, I don't know, like week 3 or 4 of you not fixing it. And I went out to get in the car to go to work. And it hit me in the face as it came down as I started the car. And I literally grabbed it, ripped it off, and threw it on the driveway and took off. Do you remember that? You don't remember that? You're right. I don't
remember that. No, I don't remember.
I love that you don't remember how awful I was. I'm glad.
No, I told you this the other day
you've shoved it down because it was so.
No. Look, we were talking about this the other day because it was
awful.
I can remember that it was tough, and it was probably the toughest part of our marriage
ever,
thus
completely.
far.
And that's going through other, like an unexpected pregnancy,
right,
and everything else.
So, but I can remember that, but like. And I knew things weren't like great, but I don't have horrible memories from it in the sense of just like resentment towards you.
Yeah.
For the way you might have treated me, because I don't know. Maybe either I have horrible memory. It might just be that, but it was tough.
It's tough. Well,
I can't blame you.
Well,
other than, you did rip the visor off of Honda. I ended up fixing it.
You did fix it. You had to bolt it.
Well, yeah, because if you go to the dealership, they want you to pay $190 to fix it. Where I watched a YouTube video and you just put these machine rivets through it and fixed it. It's been fixed ever since.
I know, but
problem free.
Shouldn't we have paid the $109 so it didn't look? You've got it looks like 3 bolts in it now.
They're machined, so it's clean. It's nice and smooth. It's not like you got jagged edges up there and bolt nuts and stuff.
But it looks like it's been rigged.
Only if you look for it. If you were to get in our car and not look for that, you would not even notice.
You can't miss it. I'll have
only
to go.
If you're looking. I dare anybody to come and be able to
come to our house, get in our Honda, and see if you can see it.
I'll see if you can see it. You have to get past the all the gross dental floss that you've left in there from when you used to drive it.
You haven't thrown it out?
No.
Oh,
I'll get to it.
That's on you then.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that you don't, because God, with this new, because the last job change I had was that. And
right.
So with this new job change, there's a piece of me that's nervous.
That you're going to become just a little neurotic and angry and worried? I
don't think I will, because I think I hope I'm in a different place. I think I
am.
And I'm also, I do things like go to therapy.
You're older and wiser?
I'm older and wiser.
Yeah.
I'm more secure in myself, I think.
Sure.
And
that was crazy times. You were the sole breadwinner for a bunch of years.
And I'll tell you, I am a feminist through and through, and I am all about it. But I'll tell you, when you are the breadwinner and the only one working, and the mom, it is crazy.
Sure.
And maybe again, my friend Angie has a similar situation. She's like, I love it, but I think also what compounded it for us was the move. We moved to a completely new state, city, community where the cost of living was higher than we ever expected.
Right. And we
had to rent a house.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for people rent, but it makes me crazy. I have to be able to know that if I break something,
that's your responsibility. Yes, you're okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
My kids destroying the floor, it's on me.
Sure. Yeah.
And so there's just all these neurotic things that just bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never, ever, ever, ever want to be in that situation again. So it's a fear of mine too. But I think we grew from it, and I think that I am a different person.
Sure.
And I think you're a different person. And we have settled now here.
Yeah. No, we didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
We knew a couple of people, but
it was hard.
Yeah, it was tough.
Anyway, I don't want to end on that note, but I did remember that, and I thought it was a funny story. I think we have quite a few of those where oh, we do. We'll save those for later. There's some real good ones.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I'll tell you afterward, but I think we should bring it up sometime.
What did I break this week?
Yes, we'll do.
What did Randy break this week?
What did Cort break, or Cort or Randy? Yeah.
In anger.
We don't do it anymore. We're too tired.
And I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay the money.
Right. But when we were younger,
oh man,
and the passion was there, the fire.
I loved you so much. I was going to break stuff to prove my love. That's what it was.